The foundation for the company was really an idea of a number of individuals back in the 40s. They were working in industries that had emissions or exhaust, and it was way before EPA or any regulations. So it was neighborhood complaints or other applications where they saw a need. And so there were three individuals that initiated the research and the development of really the heart of the company, which is a catalyst today. Two of them were from the Bloomer area here. One happened to be my uncle, Richard Ruff, and the other was my father, Norbert Ruff. And then Russ Suter was a research chemist from Michigan. They had the idea that they could use precious metals, platinum and palladium, in a form of a catalyst to accelerate a reaction. That's really what a catalyst does. Of course, my dad was a fighter pilot in World War II, came back from the South Pacific and got out of the service in 1948. His older brother asked him to come to support the research and development of this product in Detroit. And so he did that from 1948 to 1950, and they were successful. After many trials and errors, they actually developed a catalyst and also a catalytic oxidizer that would preheat the catalyst and allow it to do its job, which is to clean up emissions. They grew the company, as I remember, about as far as they thought they could with the financial resources they had. And so they found a company called Universal Oil Products, UOP. They ended up purchasing Catalytic Combustion in 1962. They were able to grow the company very successfully for 6-8 years. And then I would say that the corporate ownership had a little bit change of menu as far as where they continued to grow. They weathered some storms in the 70s, and in the early 80s, the decision was made to close the facility here in Bloomer. At that time, there were 9 employees, and so they kind of looked at each other and they had a conversation about buying the assets of the company and maintaining their job here in Bloomer. If they wouldn't have done that back in '84, we wouldn't be here today. So we were very fortunate. My career, being raised in Bloomer and going through the Catholic school and high school, and then I joined University of Wisconsin Stout Industrial Technology degree, and I traveled in corporate America for about 12-13 years. I actually called one of the majority stockholders, Bud Kaler, in '92, and just asked him, Bud, what are your thoughts going forward with the company? And it was interesting because Bud said, geez, we're just having the company evaluated because we're all kind of in our age where we would like to, have an exit strategy and retire also. So those stockholders provided me with the opportunity over time to get involved in the company. I've always stayed in touch with Bud because of the relationship he had with my father. And so I'll stop out to his house and have a cup of coffee and visit with him.
Morning, Bud.
Morning.
So Bud, walk me through a little bit of what you remember. Dad was in World War II as a fighter pilot, and then his brother, Richard Ruff. Can you help me understand a little bit more of the connection with Richard, and then the other founder of the company was Russ Suter?
Yes.
How they kind of got together and what they did.
You got to remember, you're talking to a guy with a 95-year-old mind here, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, your Uncle Richard seen the need for the catalyst in operation. He was in the oven manufacturer.
Okay.
Once they had the idea, your dad went out to Michigan and stayed with Richard. I think they did it in his basement, if I remember right.
Okay.
Did a lot of the research work
Sure.
Before he came back here in 1950 and opened up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I kind of remember hearing that they had the first patent of industrial catalyst back in the day in 1950. So I remember Dad always saying that if they ever got this thing figured out, that he wasn't staying in Detroit, he was coming back to Bloomer. So then, Bud, you started making catalyst, and
when I came up, your dad says, I'm going to teach you everything I know about making the catalyst. And
okay.
And he was doing electroplating, and of course they had a lot of catalysts to build. They were building a lot of catalysts back then.
Okay.
And,
So, Bud, let's kind of walk me through that a little bit. So the company was growing, and then they decided, I think, because of the financial resources they had available, individuals, and as the company, you were a stockholder
Yeah.
back then. They decided, I think, to join or to sell to Universal Oil Products.
the question came up at the stockholder meeting is, what is our stock worth? And shortly after that stockholder meeting, they investigated what the company was worth, and they found Universal Oil was very anxious. They had a lot of money at the time. The money was on royalties, so it was a continual stream of money. So they had to invest in companies. That's how Universal Oil got in there.
So that was the transition from the mid 60s through the 70s, and then Bud transitions, I guess, corporate America and changes, and in the 80s, I guess,
Yeah.
that's when you'd say the wheels went off the
course,
wagon a little bit. And
they closed the metal fab shop. They also had announced we were going to close too. They said, "Yeah, you're making money, but you don't make enough to cover your liability." So that's when we decided maybe we could try to buy it, but I wasn't too kept on it at the first thought of it. But in Bloomer, we had no experience in office running payroll or nothing, or engineering or anything. So it was sort of a risky business, I thought, but we got it going. But of course, once we started business on our own, gosh, here you got payroll coming, and you got buying platinum and buying palladium, and wow. So we found out we didn't have enough money set up in this organization to really get going. So we went to the Bloomer Bank, and of course the three of us were the major stockholders, and they sat us down and said, "Yeah, we'll give you, but you got to lay whatever you own on the line." So we kind of mortgaged the farm and mortgaged the rest of the other two stockholders. So we got the money.
Well, Bud, when I had spent, 12, 14 years in corporate America, and then I reached out to you, I think it was in 92, I remember. Yeah. It seems to me you had just had the company evaluated, or you guys were thinking about maybe...
we were to a point, where I felt we were moving the company like we should have. But yeah, and then you came along.
I came along.
Yeah.
I look back, Bud, and I kind of shake my head today, and you look at what we've been able to do, and the support we had from the stockholders to help out financially and over time. But we are certainly fortunate today with the company being here in Bloomer. I think the last count I had, we've got about 180 people now in the organization, and a lot of the industries that were original customers, we still continue to do work for, and so we're very, very fortunate.
Your decision for you to buy it was, we insisted to have somebody to come in that would buy the business, that would keep it in Bloomer. Our fear was we'll have a big company come in and get all the technology out of it, and then close the door, and
Okay, sure.
That was our bigger decision.
Yeah.
Of course, we knew you were going to keep it in Bloomer. Yeah.
Well, Bud, thank you. It means a lot to me personally to be in the position here. If you and the stockholders wouldn't have did what you did in '85, again, we wouldn't be here today. So I sincerely want to say thank you, Bud, and you've been a guidance for me. I enjoy stopping out and having a coffee and let you know what's going on with the company, because we're darn fortunate today. So thank you. As I look forward to the future opportunities for the company, one of the things is our commitment and also the community's commitment to the company. And, to be here for 75 years, we're very fortunate, as I mentioned earlier, and we want to continue that. I want to make sure the decisions I make here continue the success of the company for another 75 years. We've been very blessed with some substantial growth in markets, whether it's the data center, standby power that's required to prime power, turbine, emission control. Natural gas industry is an industry that we have been involved with, the midstream, for many, many years. We're certainly seeing the demand in the United States here for additional prime power, clean burning fuels, and we're very fortunate and blessed to be able to participate what we know in our technology to be able to make a cleaner environment. And that's a mission that we have here, is to be able to help industries grow and still support the environment. We're certainly very grateful for the last 75 years, and we look forward to the next 75.